Yo, I don't know how that happened. I don't know why you're so small, but what's up, everybody? Welcome back to It's in the Blood. It's been a long time. It feels like forever actually, since I've been on here, but I'm super happy to be here with the dad today, Papa Blood. Um yeah, the last time we've been on here together, I mean, other than obviously your IU stuff, is Super Bowl.
It doesn't even seem right.
Yeah, Super Bowl. That was it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's crazy. It feels like forever, and it also feels like it hasn't been that long. Like 2 weeks sounds like insane at this point, but it really has.
I've been I've been compiling some stuff for college football stuff. That's been fun. Getting ready for some stuff with that.
Yeah, college football, like I've said in the past, is not my forte. Neither really is college basketball, but you know, I'm willing to take the ride with you. Um, at
No,
least to be involved, I guess. When you do it, I learn more. I've learned so much about college basketball this year. And so like I like that experience of being like I'm the viewer when you do it as well, not just, these guys in the chat, but everybody else. I'm the viewer.
hey JB.
Well, hey, you know what? With JB in the house right now, I just want to come out and apologize. I did not mean. I actually have no idea what I did, but so what was happening was whatever day that IU game was, I was like, I'm gonna come home and take a nap, like I do after I get off work, like every day. But I got the notification that he was going live, and I was like, okay, I thought this game was tomorrow, but it'll keep me awake. And so I pulled it up on my phone. I'm sitting here, I'm chatting in it, I'm watching it, everything's good. And then I fall asleep like face down on my phone. Like I woke up face down on my phone, and I guess it was your name that my face landed on. So I apologize for blocking, muting, whatever I did to you. Like, that was genuinely an accident.
It's no
It's so
JB.
stupid. I felt so bad about it because I was like trying to figure out, like, did I block him? Can we find him? Like, I don't know, because I was asleep and he blew my phone up. He called me so many times after the stream, and I was like, I finally wake up and I'm like, what are you so upset about? Like, what did I do? My face
I
completely.
actually I did actually have to go into the settings and unblock him. So first it was blocking messages, then it completely kicked you out. So JB, you were banned,
You
but
were
that's
banned for
okay.
like 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and so I apologize.
No, it was quite interesting because it kept saying Alex IITB muted message, and everybody's like, "Why is this message just getting deleted?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm not doing it." I'm looking, and I could see on there. But anyway, JB, it was a big mistake. You weren't missing much on the rest of that game. Can I tell the drone story? Why don't you let Alex tell the drone story because she has a rendition of it that's pretty solid.
Okay, first, before I decide to tell the drone story, whose internet is it, chat? Is it mine or is it his? Because on my end, he's glitching like crazy, and I want to know like if it's on me because I haven't used my computer in 2 weeks, or if it's something going on with him because he was like talking and glitching in and out. So whoever is watching in the chat, drop a comment and let us know if it's me or if it's him or if it's both of us that is just glitching out right now.
Yeah, it seems fine when it's just us.
What do you mean? It's only been just us.
Well, you know what I mean. I
No, I
mean,
don't. That's why I asked, what do you mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, because you were sitting here talking, and as you leaned forward, I could see part of your body move back, and it was like, and so I'm just making sure we fix this issue before we get too deep into this live stream tonight.
I don't see any commentary about it.
Yeah. Well, I'll go through the chat real quick while we're in here. Amethyst, Shawnee, thank you for coming in here. I was going to say something different, and that's why I paused, but I don't know where I was going with that. Frederick, nice to see you, man. Vegeta, nice to see you. JB, obviously, thanks for coming back and hanging out with us. What's up, Nathan? It's so good to see you again. Goat, he said he's just stopping by to say hi, so if you're still in here, what's up? Thanks for coming in here. And Olga, all seems good for me. Okay, it might have been me for a second, but I wasn't moving or saying anything. I was just watching you, and so like it could have just been me. I don't know, but either way, I'm glad it's okay. So the drone story, just I guess this is how we're kicking off. Last time we kicked the stream off with telling you getting your nickname. That's how we kicked it off. But so my dad bought my brother a drone for Christmas, and like he never used it or anything. And so one day me and Shelby came over to the house, and it was like me, Shelby, my brother Ethan, and Dad. We were sitting around the house, and I like see it sitting in the closet, and I was like, what is that? And so I pull it out, and it's like this big drone, and I was like, can we play with that? I was like a little kid. This was only like 2 years ago, but I said, can we play that? And he's like, and Dad said, if you can get it to work, because they couldn't figure out how to get it to work. And I think that's why my brother, kind of, it didn't work immediately. So he was just like, whatever. And so, like, I was like, I can get the drone to work, whatever. And so we pull it out. It's just not working. We worked on this thing for like an hour and a half, and finally we get like it connected through Shelby's phone. So like everything the drone sees, you can see on Shelby's phone. And so we're like, all right, so that's good news. The camera's working. We finally get it. We play with it to get it off the ground in our dining room for a few times just to make sure. And by this point in time, it's pitch black outside. It's the middle of the night because we spent hours working on it. So we went out into our backyard, which the backyard is huge. So there's plenty of space as long as we kept it within the yard, that everything, was fine. We didn't have to worry. It is in town, but the neighbors probably weren't going to say anything because it's not like too crazy. And so I take it out, and like we're all standing out there in the dark. We can't even see each other. Like it's so dark. And so we like get it up, and I've got it going, and it's up pretty high, but I have like perfect control of it. It wasn't going anywhere. And Dad's like, you've had enough time. I want to play. He said, you're doing it wrong. He just kept saying things. I'm like, I'm not doing it wrong. That's why I have control of it. Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, whatever, just bring it down because I want to try. And so I successfully bring it down, land it. Everything was good. And the biggest mistake of the night, I hand the controller over to him. And so it's going up. He's got it about 20, I'd say 30 feet in the air. And I'm like, I see it swaying like away from the yard, and I was like, Dad, bring it back in. He's like, I got it, everything's fine. And I'm like, no, it's in the neighbor's yard now, bring it back over here. No, it's not, it's fine, it's just really high. It feels like it's in the neighbor's yard. And I'm like, Dad, it's getting higher, but it's also getting further away. It's gone, like you bring it in or we're going to lose it. He's like, we're not gonna lose it, don't be ridiculous. Like, I'm just like, you're stressing me out. And he's like, it's fine. And then all of a sudden he says, I can't control it. And I was like, I know, bring it back. And so we're like, what, about a mile and a half from the river, would you say?
Yeah, right at a mile. And yeah.
Close. So we see it start taking off. And I'm like, well, it's too far away to get control of it. So we need to start going down the street so we can get control of it again. But all while it's still going straight up as it's going right. So the middle of the night, none of us even had shoes on. Yeah, Dad might have, but the rest of us did not have shoes on. And because we had just like walked out onto the back like slab. And so we go out, we're in the middle of the road, and we're just block after block running. Like at this point, it's going so fast and so far away that we have to run to try to keep up with it with this remote. And I lose him. Me, my brother, and Shelby, we all go the exact same way. Shelby's not running. She's like, these people are crazy. Like, I just feel like they're crazy. So she's just walking at this point. But me and my brother take off running. I lost Dad from the house. So he must have just taken a different path. And so I'm like 6-7 blocks away, and I look down a block and I see my dad full sprinting, and I'm like, oh my God, how'd he get over there? He's just like full sprinting down the road. And so he ends up running into this girl, and he's like, this girl is probably like, I don't know, on drugs. I don't know. Like, she's standing in her backyard acting weird in the middle of the night. Something weird was happening with her too. But he's like, hey, you guys seen a drone flying around here? The girl's like, no. Like instant paranoid sets in. And she's like, no, I haven't seen nothing around here. And then she starts looking up, and he's like, okay, well, if you do, just yell because we'll hear you. And then he just goes back to sprinting again. And we finally meet on the main road in our town, which is probably the furthest from the house before you get to the river. There's like a block and a half to the river. And I was just like, I was sweating. It was the summer, but it was like a little cooler. But I had been sweating so hard. I'm not in shape whatsoever. My brother is like, oh my God, we've been running forever. Like, it was a mile, but it was a mile but zigzagging. So it was much more than a mile, inevitably, by the time we stopped running. Plus, we had to go back home after all this was done. Shelby was close enough to the house, so she met us with the car about halfway. But so we get to the river, and on the other side of the river is Indiana. And we look, and you just see the smallest dot. You see it blinking all the way out there. And so we start smashing this. I'm like, give me that. Stop touching things. And I'm trying to get it. You see it turn around. It starts coming back to us. Like, it's so tiny, but it starts coming back to us. And we get this like half an inch of false hope that thing's going to come back. And I'm just like, it's got to be. We watched it turn around. Like, because I knew how to work the thing. We watched it turn around. It's coming back. And I'm like, oh God, it's working. I can't believe this. It was already into Indiana. It crossed the Ohio River, whatever. The Ohio River, like in its entirety. This is long lost in somebody's backyard in the hills of Indiana somewhere. But, we waited there for like an hour. We thought it was coming back. And then eventually it just drifted off. It just disconnected from the controller completely. And we just watched it forever. Just keep going. It never stopped. Until it was so small that we couldn't see it with our eyes. And so, yeah, long story short, anybody who ever hangs out with him, has a drone, thinks it's a good idea to take it outside, don't even think that for 1 second he can handle it, because I'm sure he's taught himself now, but I don't trust him with a drone.
So at the end of the day, this was a $600 drone. It was a Christmas present, and I lost it. So the next one I went and bought out, the battery, and this is all over a course. So we ran pretty fast. This is like 15 minutes. It's not much longer than that. I mean, it really didn't take that long for it to get there. The battery was like 27 minutes, I think is what it said on the box. Another thing is I went and bought another one. I bought one for myself. This one was only $70, and I've been learning how to fly it in the ballrooms at work. So next time I get a good one, I'm not going to lose your drone.
I mean, if I buy my own drone, I'm not letting you test drive it at all. There's no trust with you and drones. Like, that's where I draw the line. My car, that's fine. If I had a go-kart, probably, maybe. I don't know. I trust you more with a car than probably a go-kart. But a drone, there's no way. That's the cutoff point. You're done.
Anything that flies in the air, you shouldn't let me touch.
But yeah, I mean, it was fun. I couldn't breathe for like 2 days from running so much. I think my chest hasn't stopped hurting since then. It's like been 2 years. But it was a good time. It was a good experience. We all had a learning experience that Papa Blood can't be trusted.
I don't know about all that.
With expensive toys. I'm practicing 30 minutes every day. Yeah, if I had to give anybody drone tips, do not let it go higher than 30 feet until you learn how to fully control the thing.
Don't take it outside until you learn how to control it.
There's not much you can do in the house unless you've got an open layout. I mean, you really learn good control in a house. or it breaks. If I make fun of Kentucky, you might mute me again. I mean, I don't care. I like Kentucky as a whole, like the state, better than Indiana. But I'll talk crap with you. I'm sure Canada's pretty nice.
Living here is different than living in Indiana, though. It's actually easier for the most part. I don't know if that makes sense.
I mean, I have not minded my time in Indiana the last couple years, but I've always liked living in Kentucky.
Oh man! Every time we tell that story, that is such a good memory. Honestly, even though it was a bad day,
It
it's
was
such
like
a fun memory.
Shelby's third time ever hanging out with all of us either. So she probably thought we were crazy.
Yeah,
For a minute.
She's probably thinking the sooner I get back across that bridge into Indiana, the better off I will be.
Nathan said I'll talk crap about Indiana all day, every day. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I really don't care. Every state in this country has a place that is worth talking crap about. Canada's pretty cold. It was negative 28 a few days ago. I mean, that's the one thing I probably would say I hate about it. It's like the winter. The summer, I'd be fine. But the winter.
Oh, wait. As South Park would say, blame Canada.
Oh my God. Speaking of blame Canada, I thought this was a South Park related thing when I saw it. But I got this thing from Bands in Town, and well, Shelby told me about it first, and it didn't click. She always tells me things when I'm half asleep, and I just forget. But I saw it again, and it was this poster, and it was like the Blame Canada tour, and I was like, whoa! Or Trey and Matt going on some kind of like comedy tour or something, because like I will go to that. Those two dudes are legendary. No, but it's like Sum 41. And like a bunch of bands like that were like really big about 15, 20 years ago. They're all going on a tour called the Blame Canada Tour. And like, it looks like a South Park poster. And I love it.
So, I mean, other than fun little stories like that, what are we going to get into tonight since we're not getting very many questions come out there? And by the way, JB, I think IU's football team was kind of a fluke that season. I don't know.
Was it a fluke that season, or was it a fluke this season?
I don't know. They had a lot of bad stuff happen this year.
That's what I'm saying. Like was last year a start of something, and then this year was a fluke bad year? Like, look at the Baltimore Ravens this year. This is if they were all healthy, you can't tell me their season would have ended like that. Like, was this like a fluke thing for Indiana this year?
Well, I'll say this. I think Tom Allen is the right guy for that job. The enthusiasm that he takes into coaching that team. So I'm going to say this season might be the fluke. I think he's going to be solid. I think it's just going to take a few years to build.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, could it be this instead of last year? They didn't have a bad. How do you feel about Russia invading Ukraine? I'm not going to talk about that on here because I don't like it, and we're living through another historical event in the last like 2 years. Or however long COVID has been at this point, but like we don't get into that kind of stuff on here, and like my heart goes out to all the families over there in Ukraine. I am very sad for them, but like I don't have thoughts about it. Like I don't want to talk about it. I would let him drive anything. Oh yeah, well you say that until you've seen him drive. I'm still leery about the car thing, like. He's a bad driver. And everyone says I'm a bad driver, but I'm like, he taught me how to drive. Like, I'm a solid driver. Dad is a solid driver when he's in the passenger seat.
When I'm awake.
No, I'm not gonna argue with you. You're a bad driver. Is Aaron worth $50 million? He is the best player in the NFL at his position. Yes.
But at $50 million, they won't win a Super Bowl.
You know what? I'm not talking about that. That was not the question asked. You said, is Aaron worth $50 million? Absolutely. Like, if my team was good enough, if I had a good defense, a good offensive line, and at least average receivers / running backs, Like, all I want is a good defense and a solid line. I don't even care how good or bad the positional players is. You know, with that being said, if you can get a low cost for the rest of that and you've got 50 mil to give a quarterback a year, he would be one of the few quarterbacks I would be willing to give that kind of money. Like,
I agree with
honestly, he is the best. Okay, yeah, right here. Rodgers is the best regular season QB. Like, I get it. You got to win playoff games to go to the Super Bowl. But, look, Rodgers is not the only one that let that team down in the playoffs this year. The entire special teams, they didn't have one of those the whole season, first of all. The defense did their job. The defense was the best part of their playoff game. They didn't have a run, but their game, for sure. And the special teams was non-existent, and everybody forgot how to play offense after, like, the first drive of that game. Every single member of both teams could not play offense because, the 49ers didn't. But yeah, I think he's worth it if the situation is right. And I think that's a big, that we don't have to get into too much football today since we're just kind of hopping back into things. But, anything you guys want to talk about, obviously we will. But I do think under the right situation, 50 mil is reasonable. Like, I wouldn't say that about more than maybe 5 quarterbacks ever. But he definitely deserves it.
I agree.
My favorite South Park is where the boys got Canada to get one of the boys' brothers, and they walk Highway 1 to Ottawa. I have a video of driving for 10 minutes on Highway 1 without seeing another vehicle. You guys trying to race go-karts, don't mess with the king. Bro, I wish I had my go-kart still. I had so much fun with that. He put it on the side of the road and sold it and didn't tell me. He sold my go-kart. I love that thing. How long are you planning to broadcast? I need to check out for a while. I would say at least an hour. Probably not all night. Papa Blood's got to go to work in like 4 or 5 hours. And he wants to take a nap beforehand. And I have to work early in the morning. You're alive tomorrow, correct?
Yes.
There's a basketball game. Is it a Minnesota game tomorrow?
At Minnesota. I don't know what time it is, but I will be home.
All right, yeah. Go ahead and look that up so you you can actually say it. But so we'll definitely be back. Well, he will be back. I'll be working because it's probably a noon game if I had to guess.
I hope not. I hope it's 4 o'clock.
It feels like a noon game. Chubby.
It is at, oh, yay, 6 p.m.
Oh, I'll be home for that one.
Heck yeah.
I might come up with you on halftime.
Cool.
If I'm awake, because I know I'm going to be really tired, and hopefully, I'll put it on, away from my face. So if anybody is in the live chat, I will not block anybody. I'll keep it away from me and listen. Wondering, Alex, did that phone thing you swallowed digest okay? I don't know. I was a teenager.
Oh my God. That was great.
Man, I have no idea. I mean, I never got it back. I never had any issues after doing so, but that thing was like this big. Like, it was very small. It was one of the smallest SD cards I've ever seen, actually, if we want to be honest.
Just a little SIM card, basically.
Or yeah, SIM card. It was it's smaller than the ones that go in most iPhones now. I'll check in before I head out. Thanks, Shane, for doing the IU game. Go Hoosiers. Yeah, for sure, JB. If we don't see you tonight, we'll talk to you tomorrow. For sure.
It's really hard to think back and realize, but Alex's childhood, we had some very eventful times between her and I.
I didn't have an eventful childhood, like, in the terms of, like, crazy stuff I did with my friends, because, like, I didn't do anything with my friends until I was late in my teenage years, and all I did was go to concerts. Like, that was it. I played soccer, I went to school, I went to concerts, and I came home. Like, nothing else. We went to a concert like every single weekend, even if it was like a $5 local band show. We went to Louisville or Cincinnati or wherever every single weekend and did that. But like, I just didn't do any of the shenanigans. A buddy of mine, and I told you about him earlier today. Him and his buddy I didn't go to school with them because they're a little older than me, but they have their own podcast, and I will be mentioning it in the future on the channel for anybody that will want to check it out. I'm not going to put it on here right now, but I was watching their podcast from like 4 or 5 days ago, and like they were talking about some of the crazy stuff they did when they were teenagers, and I was like thinking like, yeah, I can relate. And I was like, I didn't do any of those things. Honestly, I had my group of like five or six, and we were antisocial outside of that group. It was just us, and it wasn't like we were like weird outcasts. We just we minded our own, and did school, and we all played soccer, and we all liked the same music, and so that's just what we did. And so yeah, I didn't. All of my eventful stuff was the dumb stuff I did at the house. Like one time, my cousin Jacob was over, and we had a hot tub in our backyard at the time, but there was also like a crap ton of snow. And so we like stripped down into like, he put his swim trunks on and I put a bathing suit on, and we like like I said earlier, the backyard is really big. It's very long also. So like all barefoot, like wearing nothing, and like this much snow, we like sprinted across all the way to one side. We raced and we came back, and then we were like, well, before we were like, oh man, we're gonna freeze to death, seriously. And then we were like, well, we got the hot tub, so we fired the hot tub up before we did it. And so we just came back, and I front flipped into this 2-foot tall hot tub, and I like broke 2 of my toes. And that was one of the most painful, dumb things I've ever done. Like, I don't know why I thought it was a good idea. It was like, it's literally like 4 feet tall, maybe. And I just full sprint ran, flipped into it, and I'm surprised all I hurt was my toe. But like I just broke 2 of my toes. What's up, Peyton? Hot tub party, the best kind of parties. Yeah, I didn't go to my first like party until my senior year, and the only reason I didn't go, or that I even went to it, was because like I bought can we get a hot tub when we move? Sure. But it's like I went to go see the Miley Cyrus Bangers tour. Like I bought tickets and I was so freaking jacked because I didn't go to mainstream stuff. Like I just didn't, small local metal shows. That was my jam when I was in high school. But me and my best friend like saved up our money and spent a bunch of money on these Miley Cyrus tickets. But then she got sick, and so the tour was the show was the day of my prom, and I didn't have any cares of going to that. And so we sat at home all day because we planned on going to see Miley Cyrus, and she was sick or whatever and canceled. And everyone's like, come to our after prom party. And I was like, I don't have anything else to do. So that was my first high school party. My first party, I guess. I'm not even going to say high school because we were almost graduated at that point.
Was that the night you drank the Mountain Dew out of the 2-liter?
Yeah. That was I ate a bunch of SpaghettiOs. Like, listen, I still eat like a child. I eat better now than I did then, but I still eat like a child. But I used to eat SpaghettiOs like straight up all the time because they were quick, easy, and I loved them. So I hadn't have any intentions on being wild. I just wanted some food in my belly. And I go to this party, and I didn't have any intentions on drinking. I'd never done that either. Well, Papa gave us a beer one time, and I was like, that is the nastiest thing I've ever attempted to put in my body. So no, thank you. I just remember it was me and my cousin, and he poured one tall boy into 2, like split it into 2 cups, and was like, here you go. You can sit on the couch and drink a beer with Papa. It's Saturday night. No, that was disgusting. So drinking was like never anything that interests me because I had a bad experience one time. And so I was like, we had this massive bonfire outside, and like there was like these 2 liters. Like there was a bunch of 2 liters of drinks on the picnic table, and I just thought they were normal drinks, Mountain Dew, there was Coke, Pepsi, whatever. So like I got this big cup and I just poured out my Mountain Dew because I was like, whatever. And so I drank this whole thing and I was like, I don't know why, but this is the best Mountain Dew I've ever had. So like fast forward over a course of maybe 1 whole hour. Like I feel like it wasn't that long. I drank the entire 2 liter. Like there was so many 2 liters there, but I drank all of them. All of it. And then like 15 minutes later, I couldn't walk. And I was like, what happened? Like I can't walk. And this is a pretty important part of the story, but I was wearing very light gray pants. And it's nasty, but someone told me, they were like, where did all this go? And I was like, I drank the whole thing. And they were like, you. And I weighed probably like 115, 120 because that was more than I weigh now because I played soccer and I was like bulked up. But I still was small. And this girl was like, you're in trouble. And I was like, what do you mean I'm in trouble? And there was a whole 5th of Everclear in that 2 liter of Mountain Dew. And they just poured out half the Mountain Dew, put a 5th of Everclear, and then put some lemonade powder in it. And I knew it tasted different. But I just thought it's because I'd been sitting outside. Like, I couldn't process that because I didn't drink. I didn't party. I didn't do any of that. And so, yeah, anybody who's never had Everclear, just don't do it. Like, it's the worst thing you could ever do to yourself. I've never been more miserable than I was the next day. The next day happened to be Easter, by the way. Like, there's part of that story. And so every, holiday we go over to my grandma's, because we have a pretty small family. On his side of the family is me, my dad, Papa Blood, my stepmom, my brother, sometimes my sister. Everclear is like 160 proof alcohol. Like, it's pretty much poison. Okay. And so I made it through the night. I don't have a lot of recollection towards the end of my night, but I know I made someone take me home. And it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. Dad had to work at 7. So he was getting up for work, and I stumbled into the house. I didn't know what I had thrown up a lot. I didn't feel like I needed to go in details about that, but I threw up a lot. And I told you I had eaten a bunch of SpaghettiOs like before I went to this party that I didn't plan on going to.
Can I intervene for 1 second?
Go ahead.
So her coming into the house that morning, there's 2 different versions of her coming into the house. Her version's coming up first. My version was a little bit different when she walked in the house that morning.
Well, go ahead and tell it then. You picked a weird spot to intervene to tell that.
Well, I just think that this part here because I knew it was getting ready to come up, because I think in her mind when she came in the house that morning, she was being coy. She was being, I got to be cool. I got to get by Dad. I got to get by Dad and get to the bedroom. I got to make it. And she comes in and she's like trying to be cool walking along. And I'm sitting there the whole time looking at her going. And I walked in there and I told my wife, I says, hey, I'm leaving for work, but you might go check on her. I think something's wrong. But she thought she was slick and slid by me, kept her head down, and went on in.
I just remember I didn't even want to walk in the house because I didn't know what time it was, but I knew I had picked the wrong time to come home. But I begged someone to take me home because I felt so bad. And so I remember like holding on to the front door with my eyes closed, like, here goes nothing, like, it's going to be fine. Like, I'm overthinking this. It's going to be fine. It'll be fine. And so I open the door and I slowly open it and I don't see anybody at first. And so I'm like walking very slow because like I hadn't drank in like 2 or 3 hours, but I said I'm very small. It didn't go away. I'd never drank before. And so I'm like, I knew I wasn't walking straight, but I knew I was walking as straight as I possibly could. And my bedroom, of course, is like the furthest room. You have to go all the way through the house. And I'm just like, please don't be in there. Please don't be in there. Please still be in your bedroom, because his bedroom's right there when you walk in. I was like, just be in his bedroom. Like, I don't need this right now. And I meet him right before I get to my bedroom. He's coming out of the bathroom, and I was like, hey, I'm going to bed. And you're like, okay. And then you just like watch me, and I just like get in my bed and I just immediately put the blanket over my head. And I'm like, I'm not going to move. I curl up in a ball and I instantly fall asleep. And I wake up at about noon. And I don't know if anyone came in there and checked on me between those 6 hours, but I woke up at noon, and I like, as soon as I took the blanket off, I was like, oh no. Oh no. Even if I breathe, it smells like throw up. Like, it's not even like if I eat something, if I breathe. So every breath, I was like, I can't get rid of it. So I kind of just shuffle my feet into the living room. My stepmom's sitting there reading. She's laying down on the couch reading her Kindle. And like, I sit down in this like tiny child-sized rocking chair that I had from when I was a little kid. Like, I just like squished my way in it. I'm still in all the same clothes, by the way. And she just looks over. She looks back at her book. Then she looks back over at me and says, how you feeling? And I was like, what? She goes, how you feeling? She said, your dad texted me a couple hours ago and said, Alex may or may not have been drinking, ? It was too early to investigate. Make sure you check on her. And I said, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened. And she just starts laughing. Like, she's like almost crying. She's laughing so hard. And she goes, what's on your pants? So I look down. I told you I was wearing light gray pants, and I ate my weight in SpaghettiOs. And it's just caked all over my legs. And I was like, I was in someone's car like that. I slept in my bed like that. I wrapped up in my blanket like that. And I had no idea. Like, that's nasty. And I was like, that is so gross. I might throw up on myself again. And she's like, do not throw up. And I was like, I don't know if I have the energy to walk back in there to change. So she like went and got me clothes because I couldn't move. Like, and then my dad was like, all right, we're going to ground. He never once addressed it either. He didn't say a word to me. We're going to grandma's. Okay. I feel like shit. I tried to eat a little bit of bread or anything. I couldn't. It just tasted like puke. And so we get to my grandma's house, and my dad, we pull up, and he looks to the back seat, and he said, no matter what happens, you better eat all of your food today. And I went, okay, And so at my grandma's house, me, my brother, my sister, and whoever I usually bring with me sat on one table. And my grandma, her husband, my stepmom, my dad sat at another table. And I just remember my dad watching me fill my plate. And he's like, oh, you're going to eat more than that. And so I put more on there. He makes me pile this plate up. And like, I sit down, and he makes sure at the other table he's sitting. So he's like facing me. And I'm just looking at this food like, how am I supposed to eat that? Like, what am I supposed to do? And I'm just like, maybe if I sit in the bathroom long enough, they'll just throw my food away. Like, and I was like, no, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So I'm just like, I get my fork, and then I look up, and Dad's sitting across from me, like, just staring, not eating, nothing, just staring. And I take a bite, and I just go, and he just smiles big. And I was like, all right. And so I somehow choked down this food. He made me stack this plate. Like, I don't know if I've ever ate more food in one sitting than I did that day. Like, the worst day of my life to ever eat. And then I'm like, okay, I made it through one plate, you know, like, I'm not gonna throw up at my grandma's house, like, it's fine, everything's good, I don't have to eat anything else, so I push my plate back, and I'm like, "Alright, we're gonna relax," and grandma goes, "Do you want some chocolate cake?" And I was like and I go to say no, and my dad goes and I was like, "You know, and he goes I'm like, "Yeah, I think I'll have a piece, but just a little one," and my grandma doesn't know what the word little means. She brings me this piece of cake that's like and I'm like and he doesn't break either, that's the worst part. Like, he literally never breaks, he's just like mom face, he mom faced me. And I was like, I am so scared for my own health right now. Like, I'm scared I'm going to just everything's gonna come out and I'm not gonna be able to control it.
Cap Lockets, welcome. And what do you mean by what's my secret? Just curious.
I don't have any secrets. But I ate as much of that cake I could eat. I don't even like chocolate. Like, and it was a big fat German chocolate cake, and I'm like, I don't like chocolate. I never eat this cake any other holiday. Every time she offers, I never eat it, but he's making me eat this cake. So I choke it down. Like, I don't know how I survived the day. And I just remember sitting on the couch, and I'm just like, grandma's like, "How you like your food?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's great. It's great. You know, I love it. You're the best." And then my phone goes off. And it's the guy who drove me home. It was one of my closer friends. And he said, "Hey, you threw up everywhere in my car. When are you going to help me clean it up?" And I was like,
Please say tomorrow.
and I just turned my phone off for 3 days. I turned it off for 3 days. There was no way I could face it, dude. And so, yeah, milk carton. Yeah, we know. But yeah, so that was like top 10. I'd put in the top 3 of worst days of my life of being a teenager.
But,
it was so bad. Like, my stomach hurts thinking about it.
Yeah, that was definitely one of them live and learn days.
But, like, the worst part, like, is about Everclear for anybody who doesn't know. It's not a couple hour hangover. It's not a day hangover. It's like 3. Everything. Yeah, your world is spinning for like 3 days.
Considering you gave yourself serious alcohol poisoning by drinking that much.
Yeah, but I did it again later on in life, and I learned. My sister also learned that night. She had to go to work the next day. I didn't. But yeah. How did you meet? Well, when he met my mom, you know, it just happened like 10 months later. You know?
I'm trying to figure out, you trying to compare us?
Oh yeah, we're the same.
I mean, you can see a difference, but
I have very few of my mother's traits. I'm really, really invested in this stream. Well, we're just running a Q&A. I mean, this is not a normal what we do thing, but, you know, sometimes on Saturday nights we run these Q&As just to hang out for a few.
We don't always get a chance to talk to everybody because usually we're either calling games or we're invested in what we're talking about normally. So this is kind of fun time for us to talk to you guys. And Milk Carton and Cap Lockets, nice to meet you guys. Thanks for stopping in. And it's always nice to see new names pop in and say hi.
For sure. I'm fuzzy, so I'm gonna What's your favorite, Q or A? Have you ever considered modeling lipstick? No. Well, I do not deal with that kind of stuff. It's not my cup of tea. But what's your favorite, Q or A?
I love asking questions.
I'm good at asking questions, and I hate usually, in any other circumstance, I hate giving answers. Because normally when I'm getting asked a question, I'm getting put on a spot. And like, I'm not going to was asking man on the right. Well, there's two of us, so you're gonna have to be more specific.
I got big old honking lips, dude. But no, I never considered modeling lipstick, but I got made fun of my lips my whole childhood.
Yeah, so did I. I love it. I love Q. It reminds me of Qbert, and that calms me.
I miss playing Qbert. That was a fun game. Talk about one of those games that just takes your mind off and you can get lost in.
Yeah, I have a game on my phone that I do that. I can get pretty wild.
No, but man, those are two really good stories today. Three really, honestly. I mean, I loved your childhood. Her and I, we fought like cats and dogs a lot. We really did.
Yeah,
But
there's a couple of holes in the wall.
Still, yeah, there's still holes in the wall. We fought like cats and dogs, but eventually, I think some of what I was trying to teach sunk in. But she was a very hard learner at that time of her life. Great kid.
Be grateful you have lips. I mean, are you in the same dimension? If you mean house, no, but world, maybe. We might be.
Great question, by the way. I mean, man, that come from out in left field.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we might be. I'm not sure. I don't know what world you're in. Why would he model lipstick? You know what? I don't judge people, and people like to do things like that. Whether they are whether they love themselves, whether they don't love themselves, they choose to do things like that, and that's cool.
Mary Beth, I could not be prouder of who she is as a human being.
Alex is a legend. Should I paint my walls white or cream? Cream, because I feel like white will fade into cream eventually. Unless you plan on putting a bunch of stuff on it, like to make things pop. Like if you're going to put like cool like a decal or pictures, like posters, like things with color in it that would pop out, white would be perfect, but cream is more comforting. My childhood wasn't special, but my adulthood, that's a different story. I feel like I've lived like 3 different lives, from being a teenager to being 18 to 21, and then being 21 to like, I would say 23, and then who I am now. So 4. I feel like I've lived 4 completely different lives. And it's crazy. Has anyone ever eaten lipstick for a dare? I did, and my toilet was pink for weeks. I feel like I ate lipstick once as a child. Like I feel like I went to my mom's house one time, and my little sister's been obsessed with makeup before she could even walk. And so when my mom would leave, we would get into her stuff. And yeah, I feel like I've eaten it. Best brand for refrigerators. What's up, Luke? Long time no see.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
One that works.
Yeah, as long as it works. The ones that have freezers on the top, because like not all fridges have those, and I didn't know, or top or bottom, whichever. If they have a freezer on it and they stay cold, they're a win.
What a weird question too, Luke.
That is the most random question. But it's nice to see you, man. But yeah. So the stream's staying on all night, right? Probably not. Our jobs will keep us from that. One day in the near future, when I have like a bunch of days off in a row, I might run a live stream just to see how long I can stay alive. I I know that in his second channel, they do in their community. They do like a 24-hour live stream where they all like have like half an hour to an hour, and they bounce from live stream for a full 24 hours. So that's pretty cool. Who can eat more tacos? That's me. I can pound some tacos, dude.
Really?
Mary Beth, she knows I can put some tacos away.
Hey, and straight up, that 24-hour of live streams is under a hashtag. And I go on March 12th, Friday night at 10 o'clock for that. I got an hour. I got prime time that night, so that'll be fun.
What up, Puppet? What is your jobs? We work for a casino. He's a maintenance man, and I'm a slot sloot.
A slot sloot?
Yeah. That's what I just call everybody.
Dude, she can out-eat me, for sure. She always has been able to. Her and my son. All three, everybody in this house can out-eat me, and I'm the biggest person in the house.
Nah, I will not be on all night. I have to be at work in 11 hours, and he has to be in work in like 4. Well, Alex, let's see if you can. All right, that's unfair though, Peyton. You are, I feel like you're a teenage young adult boy, and at that age, I feel like guys can eat so much food. Like, that's just like he's the same age as my brother. Peyton is. And so I know for a fact my brother can out-eat me in any situation. So 11-hour stream, no. We'll be lucky. We'll be lucky to go past an hour and a half tonight.
Fair enough.
And so with the 48-hour stream happening, I might plan something crazy. Buffets ban me because I take a chair to the food. You wildin'. Also, you're welcome, Puppet. I'm glad they made it out there. I was curious because I know most everybody else that we've sent them out, I know for sure has gotten them. But I think you're the furthest one away that we sent stickers to.
Yes, Puppet was the furthest.
Wait till your metabolism stops. I mean, I think it's slowing down. I don't think it's stopped, but it's slowing down.
Yeah, Matthew, when I was, I'm trying to think how long it's been now. I think I was 39 when I quit smoking. Well, I quit smoking and my metabolism quit the same year. I gained like 65 pounds the first year, and it took forever to get any of it off.
So Nathan and Peyton want to have a taco eat-off.
That's cool.
That's not today. I mean, but honestly, we could probably I feel like I would be willing to do like a video. White Castle, that's where you lose me. I can't do White Castle. I cannot get past the smell. The smell is like, I can't even walk into a White Castle because it's so bad. But I feel like everybody should do, anybody that wants to can send us a video of all the tacos they eat, and then me and him will do it too. And we'll see how many tacos we can eat.
I can't eat but 3.
Okay, well, it depends on what size tacos. Like, like the taco truck tacos that are like $1.50, they're pretty small. Or like Taco Bell soft tacos, those are pretty small. So it just depends on like what kind of tacos. Like, the 12-pack of tacos at Taco Bell, if I can just sit and put that whole thing down by myself, like if that's what I'm eating, I can sit and smash them with soft tacos. So it definitely depends on the taco. I can smash White Castle. Yeah, I just can't do it. Like, the smell is horrible. When is the taco truck in Madison? I think it's there all the time.
Dude, we got one 24/7 in Carrollton at the old car wash. It's awesome. Lino's Tacos.
Yeah, the one in Madison is the best. It is the best. I think it's open 24/7. Oh, not 24/7, but all year round.
Yeah,
favorite place that you've traveled to? I'll let you go first.
I was going to say, they put this one over here across from the Mexican restaurant at the old car wash, and they actually put up a canopy so when it rains, you can get tacos there. But they have a line every day, and everybody stops in there and eats there. So I'm going to assume that they're pretty damn good.
Favorite place you've traveled to?
Clearwater.
Clearwater? Mine, I think, Clearwater's up there for me, but like, I like the beaches, but I don't love beaches. And so I would definitely say Kansas City, hands down, was probably one of the best places I've ever been. Like, seriously, I would live there if I could. But I also like the fact that I love to go there, so I don't know that I want to live there, so I can go there to enjoy it. If I lived there, maybe I wouldn't feel the same. But
Thank
that
you,
is my
Caps.
favorite city in this country.
I like vacation spots but I don't know where. But living someplace and visiting places are two totally
That's what I'm
different.
saying. But I do love Gatlinburg. Like, it's one of my favorite vacations because, like, I don't have to do anything on any vacation, but going to Gatlinburg, like, I can get a cabin and just chill, and not have to worry about anything. If I want food and don't want to leave, you can order food from anywhere. They'll bring it to you. And you can just sit out in the woods. Like last time we went, there was like raccoons on our porch all night one night, and so that was cool. You might get to see a bear or like whatever. But like that, I love that for a vacation spot. Like it's my favorite. That's probably my favorite because it's the easiest to get to, the most affordable, and the most relaxing. And that's what I think of when I want a good vacation is to relax and get away from, work.
And going down the tune to Scrans some Stoddy Sarnies. What the heck is that?
Uh
957 Caps.
I'm going down the tune to scran some Stoddy Sarnies. Yeah, both Gallenberg. I don't know what that means. Both Gallenberg and Pigeon Forge are great. I like usually, if you stay in one or the other, it's usually more expensive. But there's like a thin line that's like right between the two. When you stay there, it's like 15 minutes this way, 15 minutes this way to get to both of them. That line of different places that you can stay right there is like probably the most affordable and just as nice.
Chad's
You
in
know
the
what?
house.
I love Clearwater, but it took us a whole day to get there. It was a 13-hour drive that turned out to be an 18-hour drive, and I just can't say that is the best because it's not as easy, and I was miserable driving there and back. Gallenberg is 3 hours one way. 6 hours, I can make a day trip out of it. It takes me a whole day to get to Clearwater. I love it there, but no,
Orlando.
it was that long before I got to Florida, man. Like it took us 13
Alex.
hours just to get to Florida. We had the worst time driving there ever, and coming back.
Yeah, coming back was horrible. Yeah, driving down, we got down
horrible for
early.
you because you got stuck in the wrecks, but I got stuck in about 15 wrecks in Atlanta on my way there.
Yeah, on the way down, Rob, we stayed in oh my gosh, Savannah, Georgia. We went to Savannah, Georgia. We stayed right outside of Atlanta the first night, and then we went over to Savannah and came down by Jacksonville down that way. And Savannah was really cool. That's a very cool place. I'd love to go back and spend some time there. I wish the girls could have went there with us.
Well, we had to work the day you were in Savannah.
I know.
Yeah, so everybody left before us. That was another problem. We didn't have anyone to ride with, to drive with. And so, like, we were the last one to get there. I've been to Berlin because my mom doesn't live too far from there. That's awesome. It's a country I'd love to go. Like for historical value. And, most of the countries in Europe, there's a lot of places you can go that's just beautiful. And so, I'd love to go over there at some point in my life.
Yeah, Chad, thanks for stopping by tonight. Nice to see you. I hope to see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock for the IU game. Hopefully, we'll get a road win.
Oh, there he is. What's up, guys? Hope you're having a good night. A bunch of comments came out once, so I missed that one.
And then welcome, Rob. Nice to see you too, buddy.
Roberto. What's going on, my friend?
Good old Johnny Pilgrim.
New Mexico is beautiful. Oh yeah, so Mary Beth, Shelby's sibling lives out that way. in New Mexico area. So they go out there every once in a while. It'd be cool to go there. Isn't Area 51 like all of the at least the touristy stuff in New Mexico? I thought so. Be cool to see all that stuff.
Milk Carton wants to know what exactly it's in the blood.
Well, this is, you guys are in here on a Q&A, so it's not really, like I said, what we normally do, but this is a sports channel, and it's me and my dad, so, like, family, like, it's in the blood, sports stuff, it just runs through our veins, man, like, that's what we talk about, especially football, and IU basketball for him, but that's pretty much it. Family mixed with sports. It's in the blood.
Where this idea really came from was Sunday after football games in the evening. We'd sit and talk on the phone about the games, and we would talk for hours on end, and we would just sit. And that would be the one time we had conversations where we were both lost in it. We'd look up at the clock and 3 hours had went by about what we watched that day. So sooner or later, we decided to put it in here and share it here.
I just want to travel the world for food. I'm an eating machine, dude. That's the same. Like, honestly, I love food so much. Alex takes the blood of Broncos fans and makes her younger. Maybe. How do you make a good quiche? I've never made a quiche.
Welcome, Gummy Bear. Yeah. I think we are going to do something with the USFL.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream games, but I'm like, so this was something I really wanted to get into in like an update for the channel, and I just hadn't. I planned on addressing this at the beginning of the live stream, but something I wanted to get in with you guys is like kind of where we've been in the last 2 weeks since the Super Bowl, essentially. He's been live on the channel a couple times with some IU videos and things like related to that, but I have not been on here. And I know a lot of people had been posting comments asking, where I was and stuff like that. And I do definitely appreciate you guys like asking about me and stuff. But, I kind of went into like a little bit of a writer's block. I mentally hadn't recovered from the AFC Championship game when I watched the Super Bowl. And so watching the Super Bowl, it took me a while to, I still don't know if I'm 100% there yet, but like get through the Super Bowl. Like I was so far behind that watching the Super Bowl, I wasn't there yet. Like I wasn't ready for that yet. And so I've been mentally playing catch up in the sports world in my own brain for the last couple weeks. And, I've been taking like a bunch of notes like every day of all this stuff. Like I've been wanting to just come on here and show my face every day and talk to you guys. But like I said, I went into like a mental hole. And, but I, on top of that being blocked mentally, I've been unable to do this. And I've like been ready to keep going, but I just couldn't get there. But so the past couple weeks also, he, as you can see, is moved into his new house mostly, almost 100% pretty much. I mean, they're there, they're living there, they're sleeping there, they're pretty much moved in. But, so he's working on that, and he's going to be doing some work on the other house. And, here in the next 2 weeks or so, I should be starting my moving process. But on top of that, we've had work, and I feel like life has been very hectic since the Super Bowl, and in a weird way. And like, I've just sat and felt really bad that I haven't been on here. Like I haven't been updating, I haven't had said anything really. And so, I just wanted to wait until I could like find the right words, because I was like I just said, I was in a weird place, but I'm okay. Life throws some weird curveballs at you, and you just got to take it one day at a time. And so, hopefully starting today, with this Q&A, and that's why I wanted to do a Q&A. So we didn't have to sit here and just talk about the stuff that we normally would talk about, that we could just be on here and talk to you guys and, catch up in a weird way. I feel like I was talking to some of you guys every single day, and to not talking to any of you for 2 weeks. And so that was a weird adjustment too, is not talking to you all at all. But yeah, we're definitely coming back. We've got a lot of stuff. IU hasn't stopped. Everybody in here, like I told you previously, you're all invited to do our March Madness bracket challenge. I'm working on getting the details for that, because that is coming up very soon. So anybody that would like to submit a bracket will be able to do so. And then we've got the free agencies on March 15th or 16th. The combine is next week, but I don't think we're going to cover that too much, because they are they're in a weird spot right now, and so I'm not too worried about that. If anything spectacular happens during it, then we'll probably address it. But right now we're getting ready for March Madness and free agency, and other off-season drama that's about to come about for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be watching the combine this week. If anything is nice that I'm watching, I may come on at any given time if I'm not doing anything else.
Also, I saw that Holly was in the house. She said hi, Alex and Shane. Sorry that I didn't say anything right away, but I wanted to get all that out and make sure that you guys understand that, or at least I understand that I have presented what I wanted to present to you guys. Things I hadn't gotten a chance to talk to any of you recently.
I think the end-all be-all point is that when you work a lot of hours and you work strange different hours, it's hard to keep it together and do things together. When you're not in here full time, like a lot of YouTubers are. A lot of YouTubers do it all the time. We can't afford to do that. We're not anywhere near that kind of spot in our lives. So we have to pay bills. So we work, and we'll be in here as much as humanly possible. But I think we really crushed it during football season. How do you feel about that?
Dude, football season this changed my life. Seriously, it was incredible. But I think we owe the NFL a thank you for that. I don't know if everything would have went so well for us in football season if the NFL has not been as crazy and awesome as it was this year. If it had been just a boring NFL season with whatever, the good teams win and the bad teams lose, then maybe it wouldn't have gone so well. But this year was wild. Any team could win any week, any game. And I loved that. Also, Jonathan said Tom Brady to the USFL. Tom Brady's not done with the NFL. I still believe that. That man is going to come back and ruin my life some more. So, nah, he's not going to stoop to the USFL unless he's done with the NFL. And he's not. I just know. My dad got my wife and I tickets to go see Iron Maiden in Atlanta in June. That's pretty awesome, Jonathan. I hope you guys have a great time. Seriously, I've never seen Maiden. I've seen a lot of bands in that genre and that group, but I've never seen them. But I hope that it definitely is a great time. Also, thanks to Tom Grossi. Yeah, I mention him every chance I get to. I feel like we do owe a lot to him, and so I'm pretty much very, very thankful for him. Also, Jellica Anna, thanks for coming in here. I see you got your channel back, so it's nice to see you. Not much Q in this Q&A. Well, you guys know that you're allowed to ask us whatever. That's what we're here for. Work. That is a 4-letter word for sure.
Yeah, it's a 4-letter word, but it's one that I seem to do a lot of.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, I'm actually wait, I saw another comment that I missed. NBA playoff or NHL playoff stream given the chance.
No,
feel like I'm probably going to dig into the NBA playoffs because I love the Suns and I know they'll be there. And the Mavs are not out of it, so they also might be there. Thoughts on Eric Bieniemy staying with the Chiefs? Okay, so I had a lot of time to think about this, and I was on the phone with him like a week ago, really upset about the Eric Bieniemy situation because I let the media get to me. I guess like I was reading their stuff, and I was like, "Wow, is EB really like bad? A bad person? Is that why he's never gotten hired? Like all these things started swirling my brain." But I was upset at first, and then they rehired him, and I was like, okay, I can't be upset because it's already done. He's gonna be here next year. And then the hiring of Matt Nagy as QB coach makes me feel like everything is going to be okay. The Bears fans might hate Matt Nagy, but here on this channel, we love that guy, first of all. And second of all, I'm so thankful what he did for my quarterback to get where he was going. And so him to be back, I feel like, Nagy getting to work closely with Mahomes while Bieniemy is calling plays and, Bieniemy getting with a guy with such a great brain for football in Matt Nagy. I feel like those two together, plus having a stud at quarterback in Mahomes, plus Andy Reid being your head coach this year, I feel like this is like a equation for success. Like I really feel like there's going to be a much higher offensive success rate than they had last year or this past season.
I think Matt Nagy's might be exactly what that offense needed. Not that Bieniemy's play calling was that bad, but Matt Nagy is really good at working with these quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, and I really feel like he's a very solid resource. Pittsburgh and Kansas City made the two best coaching hires in the offseason. Nagy back to Kansas City, and Pittsburgh taking Brian Flores, who's probably one of the best defensive minds in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ecstatic. I was uneasy, like because of uncertainty about Eric Bieniemy, but I felt like if yes, Alex Smith, I was gonna mention him too, but if they were comfortable enough to bring him back for another year, then I realized that maybe some of the media was lying. Maybe the media was just trying to stir conversation.
Which happens.
And it happens, more often than not, especially with Patrick Mahomes, man. They like invade that dude's life, every second of his life, and which I hate that. But, Nagy with Mahomes, Nagy with Alex Smith, this was great. This was great chemistry, great productivity. And, with two great minds in Nagy and Bieniemy plus Reid with Mahomes, like I feel like that's the four. That's the power four. And so I feel like this offense is going to quickly become unstoppable. Can I send y'all my mock drafts to compare to yours? I mean, yeah, for sure. I haven't made any mock drafts. I'm going to be honest with you. And this year was a weird year for a first round draft. It's kind of feeling like the 2013 draft. Not very many QBs, not a whole lot of games, or a lot of guys that I'm high up on, and so I'm trying to get into the draft headspace, but I know free agency is about to hit first, and things are gonna get wild, and so that's where my brain is still at. That puts my mind at ease some. That's what I wanted to think, but good to get confirmation. Yeah, we could all be completely wrong, and they're still fooling us, and there was issues with Patrick Mahomes and Bieniemy. That's, not out of the question. But so many guys, are still defending Bieniemy, and the head coaching, hiring, and all of that, all these guys from Kansas City. And I just feel like at this point, why would they defend him? The season's over. He could be gone. And, it's just I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like they wouldn't go out of their way to be so nice to him in the public if any of those things were true. And I don't think that Andy Reid would sign him again if any of those things were true.
I had a thought and then I lost it.
Buffalo made a great hire on getting Joe Brady. I think so too. I really do.
Joe Brady is going to sit back and learn a little bit as a QB's coach, and I think that will really help him to be a good offensive coordinator sometime. When you start talking Chiefs Caps, she can't stop. It just doesn't happen. She's full on Chiefs.
Yeah, but honestly, Jonathan, I feel like the Rams don't need a first-round pick. The way that they have handled everything is made a first-round pick seem not very necessary. Sean McVay's done a really good job with crafting this team. Casey had a lead and they lost it. Dude, Casey stopped playing in the second half of both matchups versus the Bengals. Like, it happened in the regular season. It happened in the playoffs, I just don't understand why. It's not like if it came down to who's the better team, and a lot of Bengals fans would fight me on this, Kansas City is still the better team. But when you don't play 4 quarters, you're probably going to lose. You can't play a 1 half and expect to win, especially in the playoffs, like ever. Could Goff regain his 2017-18 form be a story next season? I really feel like Goff's probably going to be the starter for the Lions next year. Like, something's telling me that he's gonna have one more year to prove himself, like a prove year, and then we'll see how it goes from there. But I'm really curious. There's a few teams that I don't normally really watch at all, but I'm going to keep my eyes on. And it's going to be the Lions, the Jags, and the Eagles. Those 3 teams, I just feel like people need to watch. Like, they might not be Super Bowl contenders this year. Well, the Eagles might. Yeah, for all we know, they could be a Super Bowl contender. But the Jags and Lions might not be Super Bowl contenders, but I feel like they're going to be a lot better than everyone gives them credit.
Yeah, that NFC is going to be a lot tighter this year. Especially if something changes with Aaron Rodgers, if he decides not to play, and then we're talking on trade value right now. Garoppolo's not getting a lot of trade value out of San Francisco, and nobody wants Wentz. Triple. What's your favorite surgery? None. I don't like blood.
See you tomorrow for IAU. Hey, thanks for coming in for a little bit, Chad. We appreciate you stopping in, man.
Chad, I think it'll be a game that may come down to the wire. It's going to be that close. Sorry, I didn't answer you earlier.
The Eagles are going to be a hit this year. They've got their lips on victory. Dude, I don't like the NFC, and I do not care for the NFC at all. But I just feel like, I said this about the Niners this year, but I feel like the Eagles, next year could really be their year.
Especially if they control the run game all year like they did the second half.
Oh, yeah. Because that was what took them so long to get going. Is the only run game they had was their quarterback.
Well, they were trying to make Jalen Hurts do things he wasn't good at doing. But when they balanced the attack out, Jalen Hurts got a lot better.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's how it is for any average quarterback. Like, I think that Hurts has the ability to be above average. But, Jimmy G, Carson Wentz, Baker Mayfield, no balanced offense, and there's basically no offense. And so, as soon as they got that worked out, Hurts started looking like a stud again. He looked bad in the first half of the game against Tampa in the playoffs. But that was a game they had no business winning, first of all. And second of all, in the fourth quarter of that game, they looked like a real team. And Tampa didn't send any starters. So that was real. Do you think the Honey Badger will stay with KC, and do you want him to stay? A lot of people want him to go, but I really want him to retire as a Chief. Listen, Holly, that is my freaking boy. All day, every day. I love that man. I do not want him to leave. I desperately want him to stay. Now, do I think he will? I think he wants to. I don't think that's going to come down to him. Everyone says that they're not going to offer him enough money and he'll leave. And I feel like a lot of players is about the money. I don't feel like it is for him at this point. Like, I think he genuinely loves this team. And so, I feel like it's going to be one of the most heartbreaking days of my life if he goes. When I found out he came to Kansas City, I almost cried. I've loved him for a long time, but I don't know. I'm really worried about it. We it's officially the new year as of a couple days ago when they could start franchise tagging people, and so I've just been sitting watching all of the Kansas City pages.
The other thing is if they let him go this year, there is a lot of really good safeties in the first round.
I think that Kansas City will either draft a wide receiver or anybody on defense in the first round either way. They did cut Anthony Hitchens, and it's saving them $10 million in cap space, and a part of me wants to believe they're saving that to pay the Honey Badger. Because I understood why they cut him, but at the same time I didn't. He's not the weakest link on that defense by far. Other than the cap space saving, that's the only reason I could see justifying it because, I don't know.
And that's the other thing about, when they cut players at the end of the season for salary cap, you don't know what that person was like in the locker room. You don't know what type of mentality they had. You may see a good player on the field, but he may not have fit in. There may be all kinds of extenuating circumstances to determine why they cut guys.
He said, "Can you adopt me? I may be a Raiders fan, but I'm a good boy, I promise." Sure.
Well, that's been the talk of the town, John.
My favorite keepsake is an autographed football by him. That's pretty freaking sweet. I've been working on. I can't find any Chiefs ones, but I've been working on a Cardinals, trying to get this signed Cardinals photo of him. I've been watching this auction for a while. I found a LSU jersey of his that I'm trying to get my hands on too. But do you think the Bengals will get rid of Eli Apple after his performance in the Super Bowl? They should have got rid of him before they even made it to the Super Bowl, but they needed to fill the position.
I want to say that I really
I feel like they're going to keep him just to make everyone mad.
Well, I was getting ready to say I think that he might end up getting re-signed. Because since he never lived up to expectation, his cost is very low.
Yeah, he is cheap. I mean, he's been in the league for 6 years and done nothing.
But he was a first-round pick, and he was supposed to be all that. But for some reason, I think they're going to keep him. I don't know why. I don't like him at all. I want him gone. But what's the best game that I've sunk my teeth into recently?
He doesn't play games.
I haven't been playing games for a while. I've got too much to do in here. And Holly, by the way, thank you for that super chat. We really appreciate that.
Absolutely. I was so caught up on the question that I forgot to say thank you. So definitely thank you for that. But yeah, I'm also not a fan of his attitude. And, I feel like the boys, by the boys, I mean Mecole Hardman and Tyreek Hill coming at him after the Super Bowl was well-deserved. They handled it respectfully after Eli Apple tried to run his mouth on Twitter after they beat the Chiefs. But, afterwards, they started posting their Super Bowl rings. It was like, you got one of these? And I was just like, okay, season's over. You can do that now. We're no longer in season. But he deserved it. He got turned into a meme. There's pictures of him as burnt toast everywhere, and that's hilarious.
You never really talk smack like that and expect to get away with it. Juju Smith-Schuster is the prime example of you don't disrespect. If you disrespect somebody else's home field or you disrespect people like that, you're going to get yours. Karma's a bitch, and it will get you.
I mean, Nathan knows. The Raiders danced on the Chiefs, or it was like taking a group photo in the middle of the Chiefs field this year, and then they destroyed them. And I'm not saying that to hate on the Raiders, but like everyone was talking about the Juju Smith-Schuster thing when that happened. And they were also talking about the Super Bowl moment when the Niners were celebrating when they were up like 10 points or something in the Super Bowl in the end of the game. And they all took that picture in the end zone. You never
Jonathan,
celebrate too early, and you never run your mouth before you can prove yourself. Because it always will bite you. Like, I feel like karma is real in the sports world. Should the Rams franchise tag Cooper Kupp? I mean, if there's any way to go ahead and get him a deal, I think that's the best way to do it.
is this his free agent year?
I don't think he's a free agent this year.
I thought they had him another year. I'm not sure.
I think they do because I was looking up. I have all the top wide receivers.
While you're doing that, Caps, tennis has not been the same since Andre Agassi and Michael Chang played.
Okay, so these are the top 15 wide receiver free agents. It's Devontae Adams, Chris Godwin, Allen Robinson, Mike Williams, OBJ, Antonio Brown, Christian Kirk, Michael Gallup, DJ Chark, Juju, Will Fuller, T.Y. Hilton, AJ Green, Emmanuel Sanders, Russell Gage. Cooper Kupp 100% would have been above a lot of these guys if he was a free agent. I don't know why the Raiders did that either, Nathan. And honestly, I didn't hear about it until halftime of that game. I forgot. Sorry, it's Boo Boo. It's not Juju. It's Boo Boo.
Cooper Kupp's contract is 3 years, $47 million, and it expires in 2024.
Unranked Colorado stuns number 2 Arizona and snaps their 9-game win streak. 5 players score double digits. Also, you see Kentucky lose today?
Yes. Arkansas.
I watched that game because it was on every single TV at work. That's pretty funny.
The Rams have some real interesting stuff that they have to deal with in the offseason.
Oh, yeah. Von Miller, OBJ.
OBJ's gone. Von Miller, they may try to sign.
OBJ offered to take a pay cut to stay before he got hurt. He said, I'm willing to take a pay cut to stay a Ram, but I don't know now that he's torn another ACL. When he literally just got back from the first MCL or ACL. He'd only been out, cleared to play for 10 weeks?
Something like that.
Man, if KC gets Cooks or Gallup, I'll cry. I want them to get Godwin or Robinson. Those are the two. Or Chark. Godwin, Chark, or Robinson. Those are the 3 top free agent wide receivers that I would love. Chris Godwin obviously being number 1. And I feel like he's not going to be as expensive as everyone thinks he is. So I feel like it's possible to get him. But I feel like, and I'm telling you that I feel like it's true. I feel like Chris Godwin will be a Philadelphia Eagle next year.
Wow.
I want him to be a Chief so bad, but I also heard Von Miller might go to the Chiefs.
Well, they need defensive end help, so.
Ever since they picked up what's that former Chargers name he came from Pittsburgh. I can't remember his name right now. Just in a blank.
Words, yeah.
It was a mid-season trade that the Chiefs picked him up for the defense.
It's coming.
Melvin Ingram.
I
couldn't think of it. It was making me mad. But, Melvin Ingram, pair him with Von Miller. Plus, you've got, these young guys like Nick Bolton and I don't know why I'm just blank right now. What can Indy do with its Wentz situation? I saw something about Wentz getting traded to Tampa Bay. I saw something about that this morning on the TV. And, I got to work at 11, and there wasn't a lot going on, so it was just sports talk on all the TVs. And I kept seeing Wentz's face with Tampa Bay. And I was like, interesting.
I think the Colts are looking to get rid of him. They put out the publication just to try to. Daniel Harrison, stop playing Elden Ring right now, young man. Dude, I don't know what it is about your personality, but I love it.
I don't know. I feel like, in the next 2 weeks, like, things are going to get crazy. I feel like I'm in a really tough place to try to move right now. Because, like, all of this stuff is going to hit the fan around the 15th.
And that should be we should be almost ready. Well, maybe the 20th.
Well, you said the 20th originally, and then you said you were ahead of schedule.
Yeah, and then I lost today this week, so because we changed plans here. Now my drywall guy's a painter.
What?
Jean decided she wanted to paint the house. Now she doesn't want to paint the house. So Steven's going to come paint the house, and it's going to slow me down a couple days on the other side.
I've heard DJ rumored to KC. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't hear nothing.
Is it windy outside?
Not here.
Is it supposed to be windy?
I don't know. What happened?
Because, like this window right here on the front wall of my house, it just felt like something just hit it. Oh, man, I saw something about the Bengals getting J.C. Jackson. Mike Hilton's been talking to J.C. Jackson.
Yeah, Mike Hilton is like, he's talking to everybody that's a good solid.
He's trying to pimp everyone out to try to get him to come to Cincinnati. Did you see my question? Oh, no, I did not. Let me see. Isn't there an injury clause in OBJ's contract that the Rams can use him to keep him a year, or am I dumb? I have no idea. I don't think you're dumb, but I'm not sure how that works.
So technically, he does not show up on the 2022 roster right now. So I would say he's technically going to be a free agent unless they extend him before the 18th.
I'm checking the weather because if it's not windy, I guess there could be a person outside.
Well, the good news is if you sit in front of the camera, at least we'll see what happens.
I mean, true.
I know that's a bad joke, but. What's up, Dave?
Dave. He said, hey.
Fat Albert. Man, I ain't watched that in a long time.
I haven't either.
What kind of comeback are we talking about, Milk Carton? Like slaughtering another wife? I mean.
Oof.
He was a bad actor. He was a good football player.
Yeah, I mean, this is not about to turn into a spooky stream, is it? I don't know. I mean, like, I'll show you guys. There's a lot of candy right here on my couch right now. But, like, this window right here, it's literally right next to me, is like, I just felt something like bang on it. And there's no tree up against my house. There is a bush right there. But,
How dare you, sir? Well, I mean, the acting was supposed to be bad in that, Dave.
Cap has a better chance of making a comeback than OJ. That's probably fair. Madden keeps seeming to think that Kaepernick will be back in the league. So maybe. And they also said if Kaepernick and Wentz was on the same team right now, that they would bench Wentz for Kaepernick no matter who was on his team. I've seen that in 3 different scenarios from this current NFL season that would just happened.
Dave, I was just throwing shade at OJ. I love that movie. I got a dog upstairs that's crying because Ethan won't take him outside.
I got 2 dogs that are snoozing. They're snoozing quite hard. Oh. It's so nice to see everybody in here again. I have missed this. No, Rob said it is a classic. Man, so many spooky things have happened to me right now. Or me. Yeah, literally, I mean, I feel like I was live streaming that day that my lights over there just went berserk. And that really just freaked me out. And I was like so like freaked out by it that I wouldn't even go over there. I was just like, I just sat over here and watched it happen. Because it was like this way and then down all the way into the hall to the other side of the house. And so I was like,
So,
yeah, Nagy's back with KC, and the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. It's going to happen because Nagy is a better coach than whoever the Bears hired. I believe that. I don't even remember the guy's name that the Bears hired.
Love Marino and Ace Ventura.
I believe in ghosts, and I think after the last 2 weeks, this one finally believes in ghosts.
Yeah, that's a whole other story.
No, Rodgers owns the Bears. He doesn't own Nagy. You smoke crack? I mean, when Patrick Mahomes has the best QB stats in the league, and with Matt Nagy as his QB coach, then you can tell me I smoke crack.
Yeah, I hate to tell you, Pookie, but your ownership is more your problem than your coaching decisions.
And your media and your fan base, all of it is like living in New York. It's just as bad. It's just as aggressive. I feel like the Bears are probably not going to look as great as they should next year. Not saying there's much for them to work with, but
if they go backwards, what's the comment going to be? I mean, really, because they cleaned house, general manager and coach. If they go backwards, what's the conversation going to be? That's it.
That's what I'm saying, Jonathan, right there. Get rid of the owners in Chicago, and the Bears have a chance. I could tell a ghost that still to this day haunts me. Dude, yes. Like, I 100% believe in ghosts. Like, I've had weird stuff happen to me. That spooky basement. That basement is spooky. I came over the other day, and I was just like...
I'll save it for next time. And I'll have a culmination of hopefully it'll be gone.
All right, so everybody that is in the chat right now, would you prefer this to be a regular Saturday thing through the off season at least, or at least in every other Saturday, just the Q&A stuff outside of our normal when we get back to normal? Bears forever in a coffin. Hi, I'm new here. Viral Potato. Well, welcome to the stream. Casey won't be back. I mean, the Bears will probably never be back either.
I don't know. KC's already plus 750 to win the Super Bowl next year.
The Bengals have a better chance of winning only 4 games next year than the Chiefs to not be back. Weekly Q&As. Okay, so they prefer it.
If you have time and I'm available, I'm down. That's just the way it is.
So do you guys like Saturday? I know that Jonathan said he's off every other Saturday, but do you guys prefer Saturdays? I just figured Saturday was the best day of the week. I don't want to interfere with Grossi's Q&A, which he runs on Fridays. Okay, so you said yes. I'm down. I mean, I'm down to keep doing Saturdays just as a hangout session, weekly come together.
Oh, we got plenty.
Bi-monthly. I was gonna say every other week is probably better.
That's fine.
Lions versus Jags Super Bowl. That's just an idea. I mean, if anybody put money on that right now and it happened this year, you would never have to work again. Seriously. Because both of those teams are like plus 20,000 to win the Super Bowl.
I need a nap.
All right, well, Papa Blood's got to work in like, I don't know, 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that. So, everybody that was in here tonight, thank you so much. What happened to Saquon Barkley? He got hurt because no one took care of him. You beat the Bengals barely. They threw 3 back-to-back picks, and they still almost beat you. But you've got great players that you just don't have a coach or owners that care enough to make them great like they should be. But
there's always the draft.
Yeah, you got a chance for the draft too. But the Bears will win 5 games this year and it'll be okay. 7. Yeah, I was gonna say 5 to 7. I was gonna give them they won't make the playoffs. I know that. I can pretty much confirm that. Still won. The Bengals were in the Super Bowl, dude. The Bengals beat my Chiefs into the Super Bowl. I don't know what your argument is. The Bears are poverty until further notice. But, yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think the Bears had a first-round pick this year. I don't remember who it was traded to. Probably the freaking Dolphins.
Raiders.
It might have been the Raiders, actually. You sure about that? I'm pretty freaking sure the Bengals went to the Super Bowl. Yes, and Dallas fans will continue. You know what? This is, and not because Pookie's in here, but I've been saying this for like last 5 years. Dallas fans and Chicago fans are exactly the same. Every year they say that this is their year. The Bears could win the next 5 Super Bowls, and they still suck. Okay, guys. But Giants. That's right. That's right. But thank you guys for hanging out, talking crap, asking questions, everything that you did today. We will be back. This will not be the last time you see us. Hopefully soon. Dad will be live tomorrow at 6 p.m. for the Indiana University versus Minnesota must-win situation for the Hoosiers. And I will probably be in here at halftime as long as I'm awake. But update for football, I'm going to shoot for us trying to get something maybe Tuesday or Wednesday out for sure. Like at the latest, if we can. But if not, we will definitely see you guys very, very soon. Do you have any last thoughts?
Thanks, John. Love you too, man.
I never say we'll win the Super Bowl. I didn't say that. I said you say that it's your year every year. It's different. Thanks for adopting me, Alex. You're welcome, son.
God. That makes me a grandpa. I don't want it.
You're already a grandpa.
Oh, I know.
But we love you guys so much, and we will see you on the next one.